Hi, I'm Tracy from Fantastic Wellness Coaching, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce myself to you and to share a little bit of my story about my journey with fibromyalgia. Now, for those of you that suffer with fibromyalgia, you're going to know that our journeys are often long and they're often incredibly frustrating. So my purpose here at Fantastic is to hopefully empower and support other people that battle fibromyalgia by sharing some of my coping strategies that I have used for almost 30 years now, and that have helped me live a relatively normal life, but also probably more importantly to live my life medication free. So how did my journey begin? So back in 1989, in the April of 1989, I had, within the space of 2 weeks, I had left the Air Force after 6 years, a job that I absolutely adored, absolutely loved. So I left the Air Force after 6 years, I got married, I started a new job, I moved into a brand new house, and I lost my much loved grandmother all within the space of that 2 weeks. My husband at the time was still in the Air Force, so he was travelling backwards and forwards to Northern Ireland. So basically all of these massive, great big transition periods in my life, I was left to cope with pretty much on my own. In the October of 1989, I guess that was when my first symptoms of fibromyalgia first started, and that took the form of irritable bowel syndrome. I used to have horrendous issues with constipation, and at the worst case, I literally went to the toilet in the December of 1989 and then didn't actually go again properly until the February the next year. So that was a big deal. It was incredibly painful. And as you might imagine, I was packed off to the hospital several times for several procedures and a barrage of tests. And as is typical with fibromyalgia, they all came back normal. So that kind of went on for a couple of years. At this time as well, I was suffering quite severely with fatigue. So I was working full time, and I would literally get home from work and be asleep by 6:30, which wasn't great when you were newly married. So this pretty much went on. I had my son, he was born in 1992, and I guess probably the worst part of the fibromyalgia for me in the whole of my journey was missing out on my son when he was toddling and would want to play on the floor. And of course, like any little boy, he would want mummy to play with him on the floor, and that wasn't something that I could do. So invariably I would be lying on the couch and I would tell him that mummy would sit and watch him play from the couch. This went on until the year 2000. Prior to that, I had been to a doctor who again had tried to prescribe me with sleeping tablets and antidepressants, and I was at the point where I felt that nobody believed me. My marriage had collapsed, and at this point I was with a new partner, and it's very difficult, as you know, if you've got fibromyalgia, that how do you persuade people that you're ill when you look absolutely fine? So yes, this doctor tried to prescribe me sleeping tablets and antidepressants, and for one reason or another, which I'll leave it to your own imagination, those tablets ended up in the toilet and I ended up changing my doctor. So the next doctor I went to, he again sent me for loads and loads of tests, which, as is common with fibromyalgia, they all came back normal. So again, I was on the merry-go-round of feeling like, is this all in my head? Will nobody believe me? Am I some kind of freak? And then that doctor, he touched a few parts of my body, my neck, my shoulders, my back, and announced that I'd got fibromyalgia. I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what it was, but I cried. I cried because, one, it had got a name, and two, because there was somebody here that actually believed me. So through the tears and the excitement that I'd got a diagnosis, I hopefully said to him, okay, brilliant, how do we treat it? And he uttered the words, we can't, it's incurable. And then said that the recognised methods for treating fibromyalgia at that time were strong painkillers and antidepressants. And I just very politely said no thank you, and I left his office. So that was in 2000. So that was 18 years ago. So coming up for this year, I will have battled fibromyalgia now for 29 years. And it has taken me a long time, lots of Googling, and tried and tested various protocols, diets, exercise plans, supplements, you name it, I've tried it. And then in 2015, I decided to start up my Fibro Fantastic blog, because I have got to a point in my life where I found a combination of diet, gentle exercise, meditation, mindfulness and massage that enables me to live a pretty normal life. And up until a car accident in July 2016, I was actually holding down a full-time corporate job. So I'm here because I want to share all of those strategies and tips and tools with you via YouTube here, but also via my website, which you can find at www.fibrofantastic.com. And it's just an opportunity for me to put out there the kind of things that work for me. That's the strategies and the coping techniques that have allowed me to remain medication free. So I really hope that you'll like this video and subscribe below, and watch out for me. I'll be back for more.